Oh, 2 healers, 3 healers, 4 healers, 5. How the hell am I meant to survive? Oh yeah, you're right, Ludo. Yeah, I've been playing so much Marvel Rivals recently. I've put like 250 hours into it, reached the top 1% of players competitively in Season 0 and made myself extremely upset doing it. But this is probably the most obsessed I've been with the game in a long time. But why? Why is this game seeing so much success over its competitors, even when it's seemingly copying someone else's homework? Because, let's be real, Ludo, this game is clearly heavily inspired by Overwatch. Star-Lord's gameplay design is just Tracer, Reaper, and Soldier 76 all combined. Magneto is Sigma, Iron Man is Pharah, Cloak and Dagger is Moira, Scarlet Witch is Quick Play Moira, and Widow Black is just Make a Widow and vice versa. And I could go on ad nauseum, but you get the point. But if this game is replicating so many of Overwatch's designs, why is Rivals succeeding where Overwatch is falling apart? Well, yeah, Marvel does have a really strong pull with its IP, but that's just a hook to get people in. Also, it has a lot to do with how Blizzard are handling their content strategy and monetization. Just compare their Battle Pass offerings. But no, I think the core reason this game is seeing the popularity it has is because it's kind of broken. And what I mean by this is that the way each Rivals hero is balanced would, for other hero shooters, be considered completely busted. For example, let's look at some of Overwatch's balancing blunders from days of old. When Overwatch 1 was released, McCree could stun you with his grenade, and then his Fan the Hammer dealt enough damage to one-shot his enemies. A fully charged body shot from Widowmaker could kill Zenyatta outright. These are just a couple examples of the insane power levels of early Overwatch, and all of these things were nerfed or redesigned completely because they were deemed too strong. Now compare this to Rivals at release, and even after its first major balance patch. Iron Man can melt you 100 to 0 in half a second. You can get one shot by Hawkeye or be destroyed by any and all duelists in the game before you even have a chance to react. Well, this time to kill is incredibly low for multiple reasons. For one, it matches the power fantasy of playing a literal superhero. Having stalemates where it takes an age to plink down another hero would break that fantasy, but this also makes it feel as if you had the one-up on the enemy you were fighting. Engagements because of this can be quick, brutal, and incredibly satisfying. To balance out this fast time to kill, they keep the same type of intense power level for their healers and tanks as well, to encourage a specific level of team play. For example, Iron Fist is busted in most 1v1s and can seemingly melt any squishy, but if a single healer is on them, Iron Fist is physically unable to do enough damage to kill them at all. Through team play, it allows these engagements to go from one-shot skill checks to complex exchanges of poke, push and pull until someone slips up or ultimates force certain situations. The souped-up nature of any and all of these roles and how they interact with one another on their own teams allows them to balance each character individually for fun in a way that would seem completely busted in any other game like Overwatch. For example, Pharah is balanced in a way that she cannot fly infinitely and has to use a fuel meter, because allowing her to effortlessly fly around the map finding the perfect off angles to pounce on supports would be too powerful. But Rivals is just like, fuck it, that's fun. Give Iron Man the ability to fly infinitely and be the messed up pigeon in the corners waiting for his prey. Is that balanced? Well, yes and no. The idea of balance is kind of nebulous because you have to think of it of what you're balancing for. I made an entire episode on this focused on the depravity of Mario Kart's balance and how it aims to not be balanced in the sense of making things fair, but balanced in a way to encourage engaging and entertaining gameplay moments. Just like Mario Kart, Marvel Rivals is balanced for fun and power fantasy first, rather than making things objectively fair. For example, in a lot of people's eyes, Iron Man is completely bonkers busted. The flying, nutty. The beam, stupid. The team up with Hulk that makes his beam Giga Mode, pure bastarge. But in their first major patch, did they nerf Iron Man or the Hulk team up whatsoever? Oh, I think not, because the power fantasy is fun and that can be countered by other characters' equally busted ass kits. Now, in the right hands, most of these characters can do an insane amount of carrying for their team, so much so that certain heroes get perma-banned in high rank play. But that's the question. When you balance for fun, is it possible to also balance for competitive play? For example, Iron Fist. Because of his high mobility and burst potential, he dominates in quick play, but in the high ranks of competitive, he tends to struggle. Now, if you buffed him in an attempt to match the other character's performance and win rates in ranked, he would become a menace in lower ranked play to the point where games would be unplayable for most players. He's not particularly balanced for ranked play, but on the other end of the spectrum, Hela dominated in the Season 0 meta because of her ability to two-shot people. But in the first balance patch, the devs didn't do what most players would assume and nerf her damage, but instead nerfed her health total. They didn't abandon Hela's ability to kill people, which is where her personal fun lies, but instead making it easier for others to kill her, increasing their fantasy and fun. They want to keep the high kill potential of all of the rival heroes because this is what keeps this fantasy alive for the casual players, which is the bread and butter of the player base. There's nothing wrong with being casual, Ludo. I'm not using it as a dirty word. We've all got to start somewhere, you know. You weren't born a game dev, you had to learn, right? And the best place to do that is with today's sponsor. This video is brought to you by GameMaker. And if you've ever wanted to get into game development, GameMaker does this really crazy thing where it's free. Just start making and only pay when you want to release your game to the world commercially.
It's fast, it's user-friendly, and there's easy-to-follow tutorials, plus a dedicated community to help answer even my questions. How make man jump? GameMaker is a 2D game engine that's helped bring some of yours and my favorite recent experiences to life, like UFO 50, Chicory, Anton Blast, and of course, Yahtzee's own Starstruck Vagabond.
Ooh, are we talking about GameMaker? I love that program, it's so easy to use. As well as Starstruck Vagabond, I also used it to make all 12 projects in my 12 games in 12 months Dev Diary challenge. And I couldn't believe how much sex I got out of that. None. I got none at all. Which I couldn't believe.
So what are you waiting for? Head on over to the GameMaker link in the description and start cracking away today because we want to play your game.
Yeah, looking through this list, I'm seeing one of you made Armpit Fart Tycoon, and I've got several questions for you. Why not just make your own engine? Gatekeeper. Well, as much as I've been praising Rival's approach to balance, it does have its hang-ups. The devs have expressed their aversions to role queue, and this is where the game forces you to pick between a healer, a DPS, or a tank before you even search for a match. And this can be done to create a smoother experience for players, as there will always be a certain amount of supports in every game. But the devs have expressed that they would like it to be a free-for-all so players can play what they want at any time, but also have the opportunity to create unique team compositions from match to match, and this is commendable, but the issues arise when you combine it with the low time to kill and balance of the game. People have found out that healers are so powerful that if you put 3, 4, even 5 in a match together, if they're playing to any reasonable amount of skill, the team is practically unkillable, and each one of their ults basically makes the game unplayable for the opposing team. Oh, side tangent, Luna Snow's ult lasting for 12 seconds is actual madness, and then times that by 2 because Loki copies it, nearly half a minute of not being able to play the game. Piss off! Back to the balance talk. Because the entire team could play healers, it makes it incredibly hard to balance the game for those specific situations. Ways to solve this do exist. One is adding role queue, but they've already said they're not going to do that. And the other is adding characters that have anti-healing properties, and mark my words, I would not be surprised if an anti-heal adjacent character is introduced real soon. Notwithstanding, all of this is just fun, chaotic, but fun because of that, and that's why I think Marvel Rivals is succeeding. Overwatch 1 in the early days was balanced for this kind of fun. Overwatch 2 is balanced more for competition. You can never keep a game like this truly balanced. Instead, you attempt to keep the fun levels where it is. If a certain hero is overperforming, you don't nerf it, but instead buff that character's direct counters. Those counter picks then become strong and appear to be dominating the meta, and then the counter to the counter starts to get more play because of that, and then the cycle continues. Balancing for fun actively encourages diverse play while also allowing players to stay at the same busted power level to live out that fantasy of being a hero. Marvel Rivals is balanced for fun engagements first overall. Now add the team-ups, sick-ass skins, and the generous free-to-play model. Damn guys, I think NetEase knows what they're doing. But what do you think? Is Marvel Rivals seeing the success it has because it's balanced for fun, or do you think it's due to other reasons entirely? Let us know down below, because we would love to discuss this with you. Well, thank you all for... Wait, wow, nice t-shirt, Ludo. That's real nice. Where'd you get it? Don't forget to beawesome.com/secondwind. Wow, oh yeah, can I get one too? Ooh, and you can get one as well. Hit up the Don't Forget to Be Awesome store and represent Ludo to help support the show and everyone here at Second Wind. Alright, time with the bounce, Ludo. Say goodbye. Alright, bye guys.